What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pam, and today I'm going to teach you all about winter sowing in milk jugs, just like this. So what is winter sowing? Well, winter sowing has some amazing benefits. First of all, to understand why we would do this to begin with, we have to understand a little bit of botany. So a seed is just a plant embryo that is encased in a protective outer coating. And in order for that outer coating to give way, the seed has to undergo certain environmental conditions. And for the plants that I'm planting today, those conditions are prolonged periods of cold and moisture. It causes a chemical reaction that releases the baby plant from its protective outer casing. This is a function of survival for plants. It is to ensure that the seeds that are dropped from flowers in the fall do not germinate in that warm fall weather, only to die when the first frost comes in a few weeks. So instead, they are programmed, if you will, to have that entire cold season and then germinate and come back to life when the temperature, the moisture, and the amount of light all indicates to the plant that it is springtime and it will have enough time to complete its entire life cycle. So of course we can achieve this by direct sowing in our yards, letting the winter happen and then allowing the seeds to come up in the springtime. But the advantage of winter sowing in jugs enables you to decide where your plants will go. If you were to direct sow, rain, animals, insects can move your seeds around and mess up your garden plans a little bit. This gives you a little bit more control. This also protects you from those late frosts. Especially here in New England, we have these insane seasons where it goes from being 65 degrees one day to 45 degrees the next day, and then freezing, and then it's warm. It makes no sense. So a lot of times our spring bulbs may start to bloom way before they should, and then a frost will come and just wipe them out. This enables you to be able to pick up your containers and bring them in the house if you know a frost is coming. So once all that tender foliage has come out, you have these little baby plants. They are no longer susceptible to those late surprise frosts. This also gives you an incredible head start on spring flowers. Your stuff will be blooming way before anybody else's, and if you want to do things like give plants away or sell them, this is a huge advantage for you. You can also start herbs and vegetables this way, but I wouldn't recommend starting vegetables in the winter time. For the most part, that's just to give you a head start on spring planting. If you do this kind of method, a lot of times you can start 3-4 weeks before anybody else. This also cuts down on a lot of the work of hardening off your indoor seeds, which means that you have to bring them outside for short and then longer periods of time to get them used to the outside environment after being indoors in your comfy home. These plants have already been outside, and besides, when you take them in to protect them from frost, they are already hardy against this cool weather, and come springtime they will be nice and strong with a lot less legwork from you. And the best reason, in my opinion, is it gives you gardening work to do in January, even December. You can start this right after Christmas if you really want to in most areas. I'm filming this at the end of January, so I'm a little later than I wanted to be, but I'm pretty sure everything will be good. So why milk jugs? Well, they're pretty perfect in terms of a little mini greenhouse. Once you put the soil in, you're going to plant your seeds, you're going to water it, and then you're going to duct tape the container together, leaving the top open. And it's going to give your seeds that access to the snow, the frost, but also keep them just a little bit warm during those warm spring days and allowing them to germinate sooner. And then you have the portable container, like I said. It's a great way to upcycle things like this. You can ask your family, your neighbors. If you're bold, you can run around on trash day and snap them up out of the recycling. But if you treat these well, they can last quite a few grow seasons, and then you can recycle them. So I'm going to show you how to make one of these containers, how I'm planting things, and where I'm leaving mine for the next few months of winter. So here's what you're going to need. Something sharp to cut the milk jug open. You can use scissors for this, and it's probably honestly smarter. Then you're going to need something to poke some holes in the bottom of the container for drainage. This is a bookbinding tool that I have never used for bookbinding. And you will need a permanent black marker, preferably a paint marker, which this is not. This marker sucks, but it's the only one that I had on hand, so I'm going to go over what I write on the jugs with a better one later on. And you will need a jug. Now, I have not finished drinking the water in this one, but generally you'd want no water in there, and get rid of the cap because you will not need that. Finally, you'll need some good duct tape, and this didn't do so great, so maybe not this one. Oh, and of course you're going to need some seeds. I'm going to be doing native perennials today, and that is generally what people use winter sowing for, although you can use this to get a head start on your annual flowers as well. So generally I try not to buy my water in any kind of plastic, but we were definitely need to replace our water filter, and I haven't gotten around to it yet because it's kind of expensive. So we've kind of been, you know, doing not great things and buying water in plastic, but it works out for this little project here. I didn't have to go steal these from anyone's recycling. So you're going to want to leave this part not cut because you're going to use that as like a hinge. And that will be so that you can open the top of your container on sunny days. Once your plants have germinated and grown a little bit, they'll be able to get that nice sunshine, and then you can close them back up at the end of the day to, you know, keep the frost away. So as always, I don't recommend cutting anything the way that I do it. There's a reason that I don't have any feeling in one of my thumbs. So yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Cut carefully and probably with scissors. Okay, so here you see that we have this little hinge and it will open and close, and we're going to pretend like I cut that even remotely straight. Some of the other ones look better, just not this one. So it's time to stab some holes in the bottom of this, which is very therapeutic for me. This tool goes right through these containers pretty well, but because it makes such a small hole as compared to, say, like a heated up screwdriver or some kind of drill bit or something, I'm making a lot of holes. So you could put just a couple bigger holes in the bottom of yours and be fine, but I'm gonna go a little overboard on my holes, as you can see, to make sure that this drains out nice and well so that my plants do not drown. It's time to plant these babies up. So as you can see, I've pre-moistened the soil, and you just kind of want it to stay together when you squeeze it, but also crumble easily. It's not too wet, it's not too dry, it's right in between. So you're going to use a mix with, you know, this is a peat and cocoa mix with perlite mixed in. So you're going to want to use something that you would use for your house plants. You know, don't use crappy soil. You'll probably regret it, at least with some plants. So these are the plants I'm going to start planting, and I'm definitely going to be doing almost all native perennials, I believe, in this video. These are seeds that my friend Sarah sent to me in the mail, so if you want to check out the video where I open that up, I will put it up here in the cards. But for now, I am just getting these planted and outside because these all need cold stratification. So I want to make sure they have at least a couple months of that, and hopefully everything will germinate. This is my first time winter sowing. I have friends that have successfully done this, but it is my first personal try, so wish me luck, guys. So I'm just taping this up now, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space untaped. I saw quite a few people recommend to do that just for a little extra ventilation. If you're going to be putting these where slugs might get into your container, you may not want to leave that little space open, but these are just going to be on my side porch for now, so it should be fine. So I'm just writing what I have in the container on here so I don't forget, and I'm also going to make a little chart just in case the marker comes off. I will know what's in the containers, because I think you and I both know that I'm probably not going to get around to getting that paint marker, so I'm just going to embrace who we are as people, and we're good. So I have everything ready to go outside. Just got a few more left to tape, and I will show you where I'm going to leave these, and I'm going to be starting some annual flowers this way in a few weeks as well. So we're out here on my little side porch. This is where I start a lot of my baby plants in the springtime. Eventually it does get too hot up here to have stuff like that, but right now it is a perfect space to keep my jugs. I'm probably going to put them out back so they have a little more exposure to the elements, but for right now I'm just keeping them up here while I finish up my planting. And as you can see, it's staying nice and humid inside the containers, and so far everything is looking good. Be sure to check the description box down below. I've included a ton of extra resources on winter sowing, including a link to my blog post about it. It's the little thing that I have been working on. We're going to see where it goes. It's sort of a supplemental thing to my videos where you'll be able to find more information, pictures, links, directions, all that kind of stuff.